All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, it's time to go over Green Blue Sanji again. Okay, this is a leader we have not gone over in a while. It has gotten some support. I think it was in EB02 or something like that. So it actually has not gotten support yet for us in the West, but in the East it has gotten support, and we're going to be checking that out in today's video. Okay, so with that in mind, let's just go ahead and dive straight into this video. Very spicy leader lined up for today. A leader that not many people play, because we'll talk about the leader effect as we get into it, but the leader effect is not exactly great, right? The leader effect is not incredible, and we will talk more about that in today's video. And we'll talk about some potential it has in the future, though, to get a little bit stronger with some new vanillas that are coming out in OP11. Now, let's do this, guys. I'm going to lay out the video for you so you know what you're getting into. First things first, we are going to have a VV Lab. Okay, we have not done a VV Lab on the channel in quite some time. I needed to take a little break. You guys know how that goes. Had to mix up the content a little bit. But we are going to be analyzing a game from some of the viewers. Okay, we'll talk more about that as we get into it. But we got a VV Lab first. After the VV Lab, we will head over to the deck list for Green Blue Sanji that we're running today. We've got 4 games lined up, but it's really just 3. One ended up not being. You'll see when we get to it. Someone left a little bit early. But we got 3 actual games to go over of Green Blue Sanji. And here's the thing. We're using 2 different lists, and we'll go over both of those lists when we get to the deck list portion. After that, we'll head over to the sim and check out 4 games on the sim, like I said. And then after that, we'll check out the deck list one more time. We'll get some final thoughts on it, and we'll wrap things up in that way. Okay? All right, guys, you know what you're getting into. I will have everything time-stamped in the general description. I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and things like that in the comment section below. And as usual, if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions of your own, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below. Okay, guys? All right, let's do this. Let's get into it. So first things first here, man. Let me move this leader out of the way, and let's check out a game here. So we've got a VV Lab. For any of the new listeners, you might be wondering, well, what is a VV Lab? So essentially what this is at the beginning of my videos for a while, I think for like 6 months straight, guys, I did this thing called the VV Lab where viewers would submit their gameplay. So this is not me playing right here. Viewers would submit their gameplay to me on my Discord, and I would review it at the beginning of each video. Okay, so that's what we're doing in today's video. If you're interested in submitting your own gameplay for me to go over, very easy to set up. Hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. Okay? Hop on the VV Theory Discord, and there's a channel called Review My Game. Okay? Review My Game. And you post the YouTube in there. You do have to make a YouTube, of course. You know, I'm sure most people watching right now have their own YouTube account, right? You have to have your own YouTube. You have to record the game you want me to review, and then upload it to YouTube, and you're going to send that link over in the Review My Games, channel. Okay? All right, if there's any questions on that, please do not hesitate to ask in the comment section or on the Discord. Now, let's do this, guys. Let's hop into this. We got a game here of Purple Black Luffy versus Black Yellow Luffy, okay? A little bit of Luffy on Luffy violence. Let me go ahead and make sure the volume is off. Let me get the speed up to 2x. Okay, and there we go. We are good to go. All right, so let's see who decides to go first. It looks like, yeah, the Purple Black Luffy player is going to go first, and I think they do prefer going first, right? Because you want to go turn 2, drop down that Zoro in hand, and just go straight to it. Okay, now, real quick, it looks like Purple Black Luffy, or excuse me, Black Yellow Luffy, that's going to get super confusing. Bear with me, guys. It looks like Black Yellow Luffy did a very aggressive turn 1 Makino. So that takes their top life card, and it arranges their top 3, right? The 3 that are left in their life. So with that in mind, they are getting aggressive, so it might be a good idea for the Purple Black Luffy player to actually return aggression back at them. Yeah, I like this swinging for 7 because they did already take their own life early on, and we've got 2 relevant attacks coming in next turn. So let's see what Black Yellow Luffy does to deal with this, because we've got some aggression on the board now. They're setting Hiyori. They're probably going to... Okay, yeah, they're going to play out a Luffy from their life here. They set that there, and now that is a 7,000 power leader. They trashed their top life card. Okay, and it looks like we are going to... What was that? Hang on one second, guys. So they swing in for 7. Looks like we get... Okay, they take it, and then Trafalgar... They get a Trafalgar Law for the turn, or from their life, whatever that was. Okay, hear me out, guys. In this situation right here, I don't know what happens, guys. I do not pre-watch these games. Just understand that. In this specific situation right here, I think I would actually swing for 11 at face. That's not an exaggeration. If you swing for 11 at face right here, that will be, hang on, 2, 4, 6. So he's at 7. If we swing for 11 with our leader, he will have to give us, so he's at 7, right? We see 2 2K counters on the board. We see 2 2K counters on the board, guys. So in his hand, so he's at 7. He will have to give us a 2K counter, gets him to 9. A 2K counter gets him to 11. And then a 1K counter to get out of it. That will leave him with 4 cards in his hand. 4 cards, guys. I think I would seriously consider just going all in for 11 this turn at his face and ripping bare minimum 3 cards out of his hand. He has no blocker. He has no life. Let's see what we choose to do this turn, though. Okay, gonna choose to ramp with the Zoro. Very interesting. We have 5 Dawn left still for the turn to work with here. Gonna play out the gonna ramp more Dawn with the Bon Carré. I do like the Bon Carré. The Bon Carré is not a bad call in my opinion, but I think the Trafalgar Law was a little ambitious because now we can't swing 7 into him at all. So hear me out. So guys, I think we missed a very, very prime opportunity to go all in on this turn here, and then worst case scenario, it doesn't go through, right? But we rip 3 cards from his hand. Then next turn we slam down a Gecko Moria, right? We can just counter out of 1 attack aggressively with our get the Frankie in the trash and get the Trafalgar Law in the trash and whatever else you need to get in the trash. And then just, again, taking cards from Black Yellow Luffy's hand is very, very important. And if we can get just push all these cards in the trash, honestly, with that Gecko Moria, because we'll be able to get them back on the next turn and establish a big body. Remember, this turn, he's going to be on 6 Dawn, guys. He can't just OTK us here. We're not at jeopardy of that, right? So, yeah, I think we might have missed a very big opportunity there. But let's see what happens. I don't know how this game goes, guys. I don't pre-watch the games. Okay, so it is now the Black Yellow Luffy player's turn. They're on 6 Dawn now. Remember, Purple Black Luffy ramps very aggressively, right? But here we go. They're going to play out a Monkey D. Garp, and let's see what they search up with. I will tell you guys because you guys can't see it. They got a Luffy, a OP07109. Is that Rocket Boots Luffy? I can't remember. Okay, yeah, I think it was the Rocket Boots Luffy in his trash. They are going to... hang on, what just happened? What on earth just happened there? Hang on, guys. So, let's check this one more time. So, they trash the Luffy, and they only add 1 card to their life. That had to have been a mistake, right? So that had to have been some type of mistake. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. Unless they ate a life with the Luffy I didn't see, the 5-cost Luffy there. I'm not sure, guys. I got a little bit lost. Hang on. We have to go back to the beginning of this person's turn. I am so far behind. Yeah, okay. Here we go. So they're going to use the Luffy. So they draw a card for the turn. They go up to 6 Dawn. They're going to use their 5-cost Luffy to gain plus 2,000 power. The Luffy on the board right here. So that did not trash a card from life. They just used it to buff power. So that's an 8,000 power Luffy now. They're going to do a top 5 search with the Garp here. And they grab the Rocket Boots Luffy. Now they're going to trash the Rocket Boots Luffy with the leader effect. Okay, and they only add a Sabo to their life. So I wonder what might have happened there, guys. Pause. What might have actually happened there is they probably meant to put the Rocket Boots Luffy into their life first, and then the Sabo, and because they probably only had enough. Well, yeah, they only had enough Dawn to use the 2-cost Sabo. They couldn't use both. So now they're having to just kind of hope for the best here by playing out the Sabo only, and then going up to 2,000, going up to 7,000 power with their leader and doing a draw 2, trash 2. So I think that was actually just a whoopsie daisy type of situation there. But they're going to be able to swing for 9 and swing for 9 right here, or even play out a Garp maybe from their hand if they have another one. Let's see what they choose to do. They trashed a Gecko Moria. Wow, yeah, so it's going to be a swing 9, swing 9. I think we should take both. But hear me out. So right here, pause. It looks like they're about to resolve the attack and just let it go through. Hear me out. What we have to do in this situation, at least in my personal opinion, what we really, really need to do in this situation is, it's going to feel bad. Understand this, but you need to counter out here with a 1,000 power counter. That's it. And that's why, so okay, this is not looking good for our Purple Black Luffy player. I will say that. we're going to see what happens. But I think right here you counter out aggressively with the Frankie, even though it will the attack will still go through. But you will be able to play out the Frankie next turn with Gecko Moria. I think you need to go very tall this game. I think you need to go very tall. I don't think it's or I don't think we can play the 10 cost 12k just yet. That it's not the right opportunity to play that, even though we're going to be on 10 Dawn. I would rather get a Frankie into my trash, play out the Gecko Moria, replace the 1 cost Law. See, unfortunately, last turn set us back so far, not getting hyper-aggressive into our opponent there. I think it set us back too far. Because, hear me out, sure, the Bon Carré is fine. That card's actually fine. But these Zoros are not ever going to get to attack, right? Because his leader will be 7,000 power or 9,000 power probably for the remainder of the game. So let's see what happens here. So we're going to take the hit. Okay, so we can load up with some blockers. We have a Gum Gum Giant now. We can get kind of aggressive. But remember... Okay, we're going to go 8 to 7. That's pretty good. That's going to force a 2k counter, but our opponent... I don't know what's in our opponent's hand either, guys. I would have just let them have the... well, actually, excuse me. We have more attacks, yeah, so they did have to 2k counter out of that. So, going to use the Luffy here. Going to Time Warp. Very nice. That's going to gain 1 rested, gain 1 active. Gain 1 more active, and then we're going to swing in. We can't swing in for 6. And so this was a situation that I was kind of just talking about where I think it's a little too early to swing in here. We can't swing at anything. Okay, so just pass, in turn. Very nice. All right, so now they're down to 5,000 power. So now maybe we can. Don't forget to ramp it on. Hang on. Don't forget to ramp it on with your leader. Looks like we're going to forget here. I'm pretty sure we're going to forget. Okay, we're only going to swing 8. What is happening? I'm sorry, what is happening? So they're going to 2K to get... Now, they did have 2K counter for days, guys. That's crazy. So why did we only swing for 8? This is a 12k body, so we only swung for 8, guys. And to understand, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, right? We're trying to ask ourselves some questions here. So both attacks have to get through. I think we had this game. I think with the way you play the 10 cost Luffy, we still had the game. Because right here, if we swing for 10 and then 12, I don't know if he'd have been able to get out of it. Let's see what's in his hand here at the end. And we also forgot to gain a Dawn. We forgot to gain a Dawn with the character's effect there, unfortunately. And if you wanted to, you could have just swung for maybe 9. Just swing for 9 and leave 1 Dawn active for Gum Gum Giant, and then we win that way as well. Yeah, goat face, force the blocker, and let's see what's left in his hand. We're going to pass. The game might not be over yet, but the crazy part is we don't have a single 1k counter. How do we not have we don't have a single 2k counter? That is crazy, guys. Okay, we're going to analyze this as soon as we get back. This was a really good game to analyze because we had a lot of room for improvement here. They're going to play out the Sabo. So now, unfortunately, we have no idea what they would have had in their hand at the end here. But I think if we'd have swung for 9, we might have had game. Because they only could have, or maybe swing for, if we had swung for 10, swing 12, we might have had enough for game here. Okay, so they're going to load up 3 on their leader here. They're going to trash the Gecko Moria. They're just going to gain 2 life at this point. Yeah, you only have 2 attacks on the board. They're just trying to gain 2 life. Get out of this in whatever way we can. 1k, 1k. Okay, maybe we still live. I don't know what happens here, guys. Okay, and then we take this one. Yep, of course. And here we go. So now, hang on. We have 7 Dawn. Okay, well, we can't really... So I think we should go for the board now. I think we should go for the board a little bit. Okay, I see. So hear me out. I guess we can play down a blocker. Playing out a blocker is a possibility. But I think what we should have done here was sit on that Gum Gum Giant. Gum Gum Giant's a very good card, guys. So I think we did miss 1 Dawn activation. We should technically be on 8 Dawn this turn and ramping to 9. We have 8 Dawn still active and 1 rested from the character's effect. So that hurt us big time too. But I think we probably should have just played out the Nami here, fixed our hand a little bit by trashing this other Luffy, and then drawing 2 new cards, going into the board, because we have a 12,000 power body. At that point, maybe we can play down the Uso Hachi and just go at their board a little bit, but now we're in a little bit of a rust situation here. So let's see what happens. Okay, so we are going to swing 12. Okay, so we're swinging 7 and then 13, and then we have to sit on Gum Gum Giant. But now we don't have a blocker, right? I think they just can math us here. Yeah, it looks like they're going to math us out here. Swinging in for 9. Oh, okay. So we're on full tilt. So, guys, right here, we're actually on full tilt. It looks like we are trashing cards in the wrong way and everything. Don't get upset when we make mistakes, guys. It's fine when you're making mistakes. Just, like, take them into account, like, I shouldn't have done that. So we just throw our entire hand away and then Gum Gum Giant when we only needed a Gum Gum Giant out of that, and maybe a 1K counter, and just trash the Luffy in hand, and GG. Okay. So good game to both players there. We had a lot of stuff to learn from. I'm going to go back a little bit. So right here, I'm just going to say it. In this situation right here, so I'm going to hit play. This is when they went down to 0 life when they were on their 4 Dawn turn. They swing in for 7. We could take that. That was fine. Now right here, I legitimately think right here, we should have swung in for 11. Get 2Ks out of hand, and we know they had the 2Ks. We saw their hand. Their hand was insane, right? Or we didn't see their hand, but they had a ton of 2K power. So just get 2 of them out of the way right away. Get them down to 4 cards. They have 2 cards on the board that we're not even worried about, right? Or if you want to, swing 7, swing 9. That's another option, and then you at least have a character sideways, and you get... that would have gotten 2 cards out of hand as well, or 3 cards out of hand as well, right? Because if you swing 7, that gets a 1K. If you swing for 9, it gets a 2K and a 1K because they're only at 7,000 power. And then it gives them a target to attack into if they want to. That would have been a fine attack as well. Then on this following turn, so they swing in, but see, here's the problem. We played out our entire hand time trying to ramp Dawn. We were already on 6 Dawn, so we actually could have just played out the Gecko Moria next turn, trashing the Law out of our hand and trashing the Frankie. Whether they countered out or not, it doesn't matter. We just need them in the trash so that we can pull them out next turn with the Gecko Moria. And then on the following turn, now that we have another 9,000 power attacker and blockers to keep us in the game, then we can go in with our 10 cost Luffy. That's the first thing I think we did wrong. Now, we actually had a chance to come back here. Here's the crazy part. We actually had a chance to come back right here. So we did what we did. Swinging for 8 ended up being a very nice play, getting a 2K counter out of hand. You play out the 10 cost 12K Luffy. This was solid. This was actually really, really good. And watch this. We gain 1 active. Perfect. We're sitting on a Gum Gum Giant. It doesn't matter. Just pass turn right here. We can't swing through. Let me hit forward. We got to pass turn. Now, right here, we didn't even have to go all in. We have multiple things we can do here because their leader drops. So understand, guys, Black Yellow Luffy, or let me not say Black Yellow Luffy, the 2 cost characters that give the 3 brothers the the plus 2,000 power, that lasts until the end of your opponent's next turn, right? So once we passed our turn, that was the end of our turn, and now their effect wears off. Now, the Luffy still keeps his plus 2,000 power, the 5 cost Luffy on the board. He'll keep his buff, but who cares? It doesn't even matter. So in this situation right here, what we could have done, we have 5 Dawn. We can actually play out the Frankie, go down 2 Dawn, get the 2 Dawn back, play out the Trafalgar Law, and we're off to the races. Like, we actually had the game here again, and then still swing for 6. Swing for 6 with our leader at face, at their face, and then swing 12 into this character. In fact, what we would probably want to do is swing for 12 at the character first, because then it's just gone for sure. They're not going to get to keep that. Then we swing for 6 at face. We sit on a Frankie blocker and a 1K counter in hand. Or excuse me, a 1 cost 4K in hand. We would have been completely fine, right? That would have been fine for us. So just keep that in mind. This was another opportunity here. But okay, say you wanted to go all in. Well, pause. At the very least, still use your character's effect to ramp a Dawn. But watch this. Going all in here, we swung for 8 and then 14. So in this situation, we needed to swing for 10 and 12 if we were trying to go all in, which I don't think was necessarily the best play. So swinging for 8 here means he gets out of a 2K 2K. If he can't get out of the 8, I mean, let me see how the math is that you're trying to do. So 2, 4, 6, 8 puts him at 13. If you're trying to just get out of the 13, fine. Just swing for 9 and then 13. But remember, if he can get out of the 13, he's going to get out of your 8, right? So we have to use more logic there. We have to actually think like, you know what? If you're going to go all in, which again, I don't think you should have gone all in here. If you're trying to go all in, then do it in the right way where you actually put all of these cards on the Luffy to swing for 10 and then 12. That would have been your best chance at that. Okay, and then I think, let me see something at the very end here. So they swing in. We actually survive, right? We actually survive this. And then we even have one more opportunity. We get up to 8 Dawn. Now that we're at 8 Dawn, we can use the Nami. Let's not go for the board anymore, right? Let's actually just swing 12 into the 8 here, and then we could just swing 6 into the leader and do everything we wanted to do here. And since we missed an activation of the character, we were set a further Dawn behind. Great, guys, this was a great game here. Okay, we're attacking. Again, we can just eat up their board and then sit on a blocker and they can't go through us, right? If we sit on the 2K counters, the blocker, and the Gum Gum Giant, we don't have to rest their character down. At least I don't think we do. Anyway, so that's one thing we could have done. And then one more issue we have to go over here is at the very end. And please don't think I'm picking on this person at all. This is incredible for learning here. Well, so real quick, before we trash the 2K, 1K, watch this. Instead, so they're going to swing for 9, which is, of course, the right play for them. Swinging for 9 will get at least 2 cards out of hand, right? Because a Gum Gum Giant and something else. We can actually use the Gum Gum Giant here to trash our 10-cost Luffy and go up to 9K and fix 2 cards in our hand. And then we can just trash the Nami if we have no better option. Does that make sense? It would have been nice if we could have left 2 Dawn active at the end there, but we couldn't. It's all good. Okay, great game. That was a really good one. Let me get set up real quick, guys. That was an incredible game to learn from. Hopefully everybody got something out of that. Thank you so much for that submission there on the, for the game to review. Okay, so now for today's video's the leader that we're going over today, Green Blue Sanji. Let's go ahead and check out the deck list we're going to be checking out today, or that we're going to be using in today's video. So 2 games will be with this list, and the other one it will be with a film list. We'll talk about that in a minute. In fact, 2 are with this list and 2 are with the film list, but one of the ones with the film list, the person left early, and we'll go over that when we get to it. So this is the leader, guys. Let me go ahead and break this down. This is a green-blue leader, okay, dual color, 5,000 power, 4 life, Straw Hat Crew Sanji. Once per turn, when you play a character without an effect, okay, with no base effect, that looks like this, guys. A character with no base effect. Notice there's nothing in the text box. And same thing with this card. It's like full art, but there's nothing in the text box. Well, this is a character with no base effect, okay? So with that in mind, when you play one of those from your hand, and if you have 3 or less characters in play, you could set 2 Dawn as active. So in other words, say I'm on a 4 Dawn turn. If I have no characters on the board, or if I have, 2 or less characters where this ends up becoming my 3rd character, I can play out this Gecko Moria for 4 and get 2 Dawn back. So now I can swing more aggressively with those other characters. So that is the idea behind Sanji's effect. Of course, it is just once per turn, but that is the idea with the effect. Now, we are running a 7 Warlords package. I'm actually not running... I was going to say, I know I'm running Sengoku. So here's Sengoku, guys. This is just the Searcher, and then it's a straight 7 Warlords package with a few other cards here and there. We are running the Usopp. This has a similar idea to what we're trying to do here, where it's like, okay, this is a 4-cost 5K, 2K counter, guys. This card is a 2K counter, and I did not realize that until after my games. I just assumed this was a 1K counter card, and I was using it as a 1K counter like for the entirety of our matches today, right, for the 2 that we're going over with this deck. And this is a 4-cost 5K, 2K counter, excuse me, and it has an on-play effect. If you have 2 or fewer characters with 5,000 power or more in play, play up to 1 power 6,000 or lower character from your hand that has no abilities, that has no base effects, right? So this Mihawk and Jinbei is basically the idea here, right? We're trying to go, excuse me, we're trying to play out either Mihawk early on, Usopp, or Jinbei to just flood the board, get some Dawn back with our, preferably flood the board with one of these characters like the vanilla Weevil here or the vanilla Gecko Moria, and then stand Dawn back as active with the effect from our leader and swing in for 7 and get super aggressive early on. That is the entire idea behind today's, setup, right? We're working with what we have here. Let me say this, guys. This effect seems very much power crept out of the game. Like, I don't think this deck was ever particularly good, even all the way back in OP02 when it came out. But nowadays, with the leader effects we're seeing, yeah, this leader has fallen very far behind. But in OP11, there are going to be some new cards coming out, some new vanilla cards, characters with no base effect that are 2K counters. So in other words, instead of it being a 4-cost 6,000 power 1K counter, it'd be like a 5-cost 6K 2K counter, right? So going up 1 cost and going up 1 counter, because I don't think they're putting any 4-cost 5K 2K counters in with no base effect, at least not yet. We'll have to see what happens in the future. Okay, so this is the first list, very straightforward. It's a 7 Warlords list. We do have Edward Weevil. We do have Jozu in here as well to bounce some stuff back. We can't play Trafalgar Law, guys. For those who are not aware, Trafalgar Law, the 4-cost, the bouncing your opponent's character back is if your leader is a 7 Warlords only, okay? Now, you can still bounce your own character back. Let me just type in Trafalgar Law. I can't find it. Here it is. 4-cost 5K, 1K counter. On play, you may return one of your characters to its owner's hand. So you can return your character to the owner's hand, but you can't bounce one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 less to their hand because your leader has to be 7 Warlords, okay? Now, let's do this, guys. Let's get into... Oh, excuse me. We have to look at one other version. This is for the other one we're going to be looking at today. There's a film version I made as well. I think the 7 Warlords package is just strictly better, though. Okay, so this list is also running Usopp. We are running Slave Arrow in here to pull cards back. We have a 2K counter Sanji. It's just a straight Straw Hat... what do you call it? Straw Hat Film Odyssey package, okay? So we do have like 2K counter Sanji. We've got the film blocker Luffy, Nami, Brook. Here's an Usopp. This Usopp and this Zoro are the only vanilla characters that we're running. Just like in the last one, we were only running 2 full play sets of, so 8 cards altogether that were the vanilla cards, the cards with no base effect that we can play out and get Dawn back with. Because I will say this, guys, the effect is only really good early in the game, because if your board is just continuously getting dropped down, you're in real bad shape. It's just not going to go well for you. And the other thing is this. See, here's another reason why I don't think this card is that great anymore. So what makes this effect so good is you're playing out a character, then you have 2 extra Dawn to work with to either A, attack more aggressively, which is, you know, I guess it's a perk, but that's really not a great perk, or B, the probably better answer is you're going to be able to play out more characters, right? So if you're standing 2 Dawn as active, you have more room to play out more characters. Well, notice how things are already in the game. We have cards like Brook that are playing out cards like Usopp. And by the way, Brook came out in the same set as Sanji. Right, so I don't know, maybe like on a 5 Dawn turn, well, hang on, maybe like on a 6 Dawn turn, you'd be able to go, okay, I'll play out a 4-cost Zoro, stand 2 Dawn as active, now I have 4 Dawn left, play out the Brook, which can cheat out an Usopp, but this is just a once per turn effect, we can't get the effect again. Or I guess that's another way to do it, right, is we can play out the Brook, which cheats out an Usopp, and then that should stand up 2 Dawn, and we'd have 4 Dawn left still on a 6 Dawn turn, and then maybe we follow up with, like, this Zoro or something like that. I don't know. It really depends, guys. All I'm going to say is this. I do think that this leader right here, I don't think the effect is as great as it can be, or as good as it should have been even. I don't know if there should have ever been a clause on it. I don't think it should be once per turn or anything. I think it should just be... take out the once per turn, and whenever you play a character without an effect from your hand, then just stand 2 Dawn as active. Not even three or less characters on the board. There should maybe be a world where you can just dump your entire hand to try to get some effect from this. Maybe, I don't know. People might think maybe that would be too strong. I'm just trying to say this leader has a very limited effect, and it will need some massive support, more support like this Usopp if it's ever going to be anything. So we'll have to see what they do. All right, now let's check out the games, guys. Now we'll check out the games. Here's Slave Arrow, by the way. If you don't know what this does, you can return 1 cost 2 or higher character to the owner's hand and go plus 4,000, and the trigger's a draw to bottom deck too, pretty much, right? Okay, now let's do this, guys. We got 4 games to go over. First game up here, this is with the 7 Warlords package. We're going to be going against a purple Luffy. That's right, guys. We got some decent games for today. Not really. This is really the only really good meta matchup to check out. And, hey, I will say this. If we're going to beat anyone, volume's off, speed's on 2x, we're good to go. If we're going to beat anyone, it will definitely be a purple Luffy, right? And just go super aggressive against them going first. We took first away, so now we can aggressively fill out the board. They're going to start off with the Trafalgar Law Searcher. And then we are going to go ahead and wait for them to make up their mind. And here we go. They should be passing it back to us. There's nothing more they can do unless they have another searcher. Yep, it's back to us. I did put on 2x speed, right? I know I did. Okay, we're just playing slow. So we're going to start off by swinging for 5. We are going to play out the Dracula Mihawk and then cheat out the 4-cost 6k Weevil to draw a card. And we're going to pass it back. The most important thing is for us to keep filling out the board, guys. It is the most important thing. So they're going to swing in for 5 and, play out a Eustace Kid. So in this situation right here, let's see what happens. I can fill out the board, or I can try. There's a bunch of things we can do here, right? Let's see what we choose to do. So we're going to swing out this. We're going to swing out for 6 here, and then we are going to swing out for 6 more, and then I think we're just going to drop down a blocker. We're going to try to just keep going wider and wider on the board. I have to get over the attack of that Eustace Kid. That's why we did it in that order. Okay, here we go. So they're going to play out a Sangoro here. They're going to try to start drawing cards next turn. This is not looking good. Anytime you're playing a deck that does not have removal, guys, it's probably not going to go well. They swing for 5. We 1k counter out with Usopp. Our board's full right now, so we couldn't use them anyway. All right, we're going to swing it for 5. Try to get that blocker out of the way. Very nice. Now we're going to swing 5s, 5s, and 6s. We can just go super aggressive here. Not super aggressive, but we can go pretty aggressive here. Okay, so they go ahead and give us a 1K counter. So now I'm actually tempted to go for his Eustace Kid. We'll swing 8 into 6, and I kind of like that because, okay, he already gave us a card instead of taking it. He should have taken that last hit, to be honest, and then I would keep going everything at face. So we're going to go 6 more at face here, try to get a 2K counter. They have to Gum Gum Giant going down to 5 Dawn. We'll take that. We will take that. They're going to ramp, you know, they're going to draw 2 cards from that effect, obviously. We'll play out another Margaret, fixing our hand further, and now we're kind of filling out the board a little bit. Our hand does have 4 2K counters in it, but remember, guys, when I was recording this first game, I actually thought the Usopp was a 1K counter, which felt terrible. I was like, oh no, afterwards. So they're going to swing in for 8 here. They're going to go 8 into 5. We'll just go ahead and give them a blocker. 6. Okay, that card we can probably let go. That's just a 4K. I guess we could save it. Yeah, just let it go. I don't like keeping the 4K on the board. They're going to swing in. We'll give them a 2K counter, and here we go. Our board is still pretty nice, guys. Our board is still pretty nice. I like the Gecko Moria here, to be honest. We can get cards back from the trash, you know, get some more value there. So let's start. I mean, let's just keep going for the board. We could get every card out of their hand right here, guys. We can get almost every card out of their hand. We'll swing for 7 just because I think we're going to have extra Dawn at the end of this turn. And then we're going to go 7 more. This should get the blocker. Okay. And right here, we're going to go ahead and play out the Jinbei and just replace the Sengoku on the board. We're going to play out the Gecko Moria, grab the 2K counter we had. And now, again, our board is actually completely stacked, right, guys? Like, our board, we're very wide on the board. These aren't big characters, but we have a blocker. We have 10K counter in hand, guys. We have 10,000 counter in hand. They're going to swing in for 6 here. Give them a 2K counter. They know we had that. We'll get that out of the way, so now they don't know what we have. They did draw a card with a Sangoro here. And let's see what happens next. Just seeing what they want to do. Okay, they're going to swing for 6. We'll give them another 2K counter. They're going to swing 8 into 5. We could probably just let that one go. I just don't want them to get the 6. I'd rather block out of the 6. They have 7. It'll probably be Sanji, right? Play out the Sanji. Dawn -1. Now they're going to swing in. Probably tap down the Jinbei or the Gecko. It doesn't matter, to be honest. Technically, I think tapping down the Gecko is the better call. I think they were correct in that. They'll go 7 into 5 here. We're going to give them a 2K, because all we have are 2Ks. And here we go, guys. It's time to go for the board, right? Now we get to just go for the board. We'll go 8 into 6 here. That card's gone. We'll go now. I think we'll just go 7s. We'll go 7 into 7. See what happens there. We'll see if he can keep it. Oh, lets it go. Okay, he does let it go. Now we only really have 1 more attack we can throw in. Well, actually, we're going to probably have to go at face here and just fill out the board. Yeah, Sengoku, nice. Get a preferably a 2K counter, but we didn't have access we didn't have access to a 2K counter we could search up. We'll swing 5. We'll swing 6. We're saying, hey man, next turn is game over. You have to go all in here. You're going to have to go swing. Okay, swinging for 8 first. We're going to take this. Now we can get out of the next 8, and I think we probably should. Because in this situation, okay, that was a little risky, I'm not going to lie. So now let's do the math, guys. Pause. This does bait him into attacking, but it was a little bit of a gamble. So he has 9 Dawn. He can technically use his leader effect this turn to go up to 10. So let's just say he has 10 Dawn. He has 7,000 power on the board across 2 bodies, plus 10,000 power from the Dawn. So he can swing 8, swing 9. He can swing 8, swing 9. That's what he can do here, right? Yeah, he can go 3 on the Luffy, 7 on the Law. Okay, if he swings 6, I'm going to just laugh, right? We're not going to do anything about that. Yeah, so he should swing 8. So, guys, understand. So now I've done the math. He cannot win now. I have a 2K, 1K, 1K, 1K in hand. I can get out of a 9,000 power attack, and that's all he can do. There is no further attack he can do. So, of course, we need to take this aggressively so he doesn't go for our board or anything like that and bait him into attacking into us. Okay, and actually he does the incorrect play. He shouldn't have played out the Sanji, keep the counter power in hand, because understand, guys, he already has a 2,000 power body on the board, right? He has a 2,000 power body on the board, so paying 7 to swing for 7 is not as efficient as just attaching 7 to 2 and swinging for 9. But it didn't matter. We could get out of either attack, and this is going to be game right here. Okay, that new Sanji is incredible, of course, though. Of course, that new Sanji is incredible. We are going to get out of it, and there's no way, guys, because at the end here, we're probably just going to swing 5 7s, right? I think it's going to be, so 7, 7 on the 2 Weevils, that's only a 2 Dawn investment. 7, 7, that's a 6 Dawn investment altogether, and then we could just go 9. So we could go 7, 7, 7, 7, 9. You're not getting out of that one. Good game to my opponent. That was a really fun one. Okay, so, that was Green Blue Sanji versus Purple Luffy. Next one we have up against Smoker. So like I said, we had a few decent matchups with the 7 Warlords engine, because ultimately, guys, this is just a 7 Warlords engine, right? Hang on. It's not as good as Dofi, obviously. We lose 1 life, and we have a much weaker effect. But here's the thing. The 7 Warlords package is just quality. It is just straight quality. He's going to swing in for 5. We're going to give him a quick 1K. I don't want to dip too low too quickly against him. That will not be good for us. We're going to play out... excuse me. So we have to play the characters out first before swinging so we can get the full 7,000 power attack off, right? Because if we swung for 5 first, he could easily counter out. But if we go Jinbei into Gecko Moria, getting 2 Dawn back as active, then we can swing for 7 and actually get some bigger attacks through. And we got a 5K and a 6K on the board. Seems good. So this is Green Blue Sanji in his prime right here. Over the course of the game, he does get much weaker in my personal opinion. So they're going to play out Tashigi, pop our 6K vanilla. Not too bad. Not too big of a deal. They pop our vanilla card. We're not too worried about that. We play out the Weevil, guys, which ended up being a 1-cost 5K because we had 3 or less characters on the board when we played it out. So that ends up refunding 2 Dawn back. The 3 cost ends up being only 1 Dawn, and we saw 5 Dawn to swing with. We're going to swing 5, swing 6. Keeping the pressure on. We do have to keep our opponent honest here. Make them attack into our board and not our life. We only have 3 life, guys. It's, we've already counted out of 1 attack, and then we took the other one. We're down to 3 life. We have to be very careful. They're going to give us a 1K counter. Borsalino will swing it for 6. They'll probably take this. They have 5 cards in hand. I would pretty much take this every time. Yeah. Guys, that's one thing we're going to come out with a video soon talking about when you should take versus when you should counter out. They're going to swing 6 into 5. I am going to punish him for that to the best of my ability. We'll 2K counter out. We'll give him a 1K as well. What is he going to play for 7? Jack, maybe? If he plays out a Jack or something like that, that could be very scary. But what is he trying to play out for 7? He has the Tashigi on the board. We want to get rid of that as soon as we can. Well, he has 2 different Tashigis, but he has the 3-cost Tashigi on the board. We really want to get rid of that. And it looks like our opponent did their math a little bit wrong here. They're going to go 5 into face. We're going to take that. Why wouldn't you swing into my Jinbei? You had me down to 2 cards. Pause. So, guys, I was down to 2 cards in hand. Go for the Jinbei and get the final one out of the way. Because if you swing at life here, I'm just going to take that and increase my hand size. Right? I know at the cost of 1 life, but it's a resource. So now we're going to go 5 into 5. Does he want to give me a counter? Absolutely not. 6 into 6. I'm going to eat this board up to the best of my ability. Keep swinging 6s. Keep swinging 6s. We are just going to go at it like this the whole time. Getting cards out of hand. Now we're going to swing 8 into 6. Get rid of that. Play out a Margaret. We get to draw a card. Pass the turn. They only have 2 relevant attacks on the board right now. We have a blocker, so we can hopefully counter out of one of them if it's a greedy attack for just 5 and then block out of the other. They're going hyper defensive now, right, guys? They're going hyper defensive. Let me make sure we're on 2x speed, guys, just to be sure. 7, we're going to get out of that. Now he can swing 8 into whatever he wants. They're all 5K bodies. I don't care where he swings. It doesn't matter. He can have it. Very nice. And guess what? We're going to... Guys, with a deck like this, we're going for the board. Notice I was highlighting the Borsalino with my cursor. I was really hoping he'd give me that Borsalino. We'll push the Borsalino back to hand. We'll swing in for 5 here. We'll swing in for 5 more. We'll play out the Jinbei, cheating out the Weevil, and yeah. This is not a situation you ever want to be in, right? Now, they do have a Gecko Moria follow-up into a Borsalino, but they have no 2-cost character in their trash, guys. They have not gotten a single 2-cost character into their trash. 7 into 5, you can have it, but guys, I've got 7s coming across the board here. This is not going to be pretty for my opponent. Okay, let's see. Actually, probably 6s, because I think I have another play in mind. I really want to play out the Sengoku. I want to see what I can get with that, Weevil and Margaret. Swing for 6, swing for 6, swing for probably 6 more of the leader, swing for 7. And then we have an 8 Dawn play to follow up. Oh, yeah. Swing 6. So, okay. Trigger. No trigger. Going to swing for 8 to get 2 over the Borsalino, kind of to force the Borsalino. Now we just won't do the search with the Sengoku, probably. Unless I have a whole nother play in mind here. Let's see what happens. They're going to 1K. Okay, he must have got that into his trash for a Gecko Moria. So he did that for a Gecko Moria play in hand. We're going to play out this and this. Okay, so we play out the Margaret, play out the Weevil to draw a card. We actually have like 11K counter in hand. 4 plus 3. Yeah, so they trashed the Rebecca to do a Gecko Moria play next turn. Pulling out the Suru, use Suru effect first. -2 to the Margaret. Cheat out something with the Rebecca. What does he have? Let's see what he has with the Margaret. Excuse me, with the Rebecca. Probably the Brook. Brook would be the way to go here. Maybe he didn't draw it. It's possible. You never know, guys. Some people do brick. It does happen. I know when you're playing games, it feels like your opponent never bricks, right? It does happen, though. It does happen. Okay, he just doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it. We're going to take this gladly. He's not even going to swing with the other gecko. We were going to block with it. So again, guys, he's swinging at the wrong targets. I was probably going to counter out regardless, but I would swing 8 into the 6 here. He had an 8k attack, right? He could have swung 8 into 6 here for Weevil. I would have 2k, 1k to get out of it. He could swing 9 in with the other gecko into the Weevil or into the Jinbei, and then I'm going to Margaret to block it out of that. He just has no way to get out from there, though. He has 3k counter in hand. He has 1 blocker. We will have a bare minimum of 5 attacks next turn. Good game to my opponent. That is what this deck does, guys. This deck, if you can go wide enough with it, and the best engine to go wide for blue-green right now is, of course, 7 Warlords, then you're going to have some decent success, in my opinion, if you play well and if you get a decent enough pull. Okay, now this is the one game that is kind of wonky, guys, so don't get your hopes up. Don't get too invested into this one. But this was the first game I got to play with the green-blue Sanji film version. So really, the 7 Warlords is like the blue version, and the film Straw Hat is like the green version, if that makes sense. We're playing against a Nami, and I want to show you guys how fast we can flood the board. And I think it's probably a pretty decent matchup into Nami. So check this out. So we have no... we would have much rather gone first. First of all, guys, it would have been nice if we could have gone first here. That would have been the way to go. Okay, volume is off, speed is on 2x, and all right. So right here, we can play out Usopp to cheat out one of these 4-cost 6k bodies. Then we can play out the Nami because we got 2 Dawn is active from it. We'll get the 7-cost Luffy. That's what we want, is the 7-cost Luffy here. Okay. And here we go. They're going to play out a Gloriosa. So they're running... this is like an older version. I don't think many people are running anymore for Nami. They're running the Gloriosas. To just basically draw cards. I think they whiffed the search and everything. You hate to see it. I mean, we enjoy seeing it, but you hate for them to see it. Okay, so right here, I think yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I should swing at all. I think we should just go ahead. Unfortunately, playing out the Nami probably ended up being a mistake. We probably should have played it out this turn. We should have saved it for this turn. We'll play out another Nami, though. We'll do some searching here, and now we've got some pretty decent stuff. And next turn, we can replace both of them with a Luffy and, one of these Zoros. Okay, we're just taking it very slow, guys, because we want to have a full board before we start attacking. That's how I suggest you play into Blue Nami, and that's another reason I think, well, I was going to say why this version's not doing well, but at the same time, I don't think this version's doing particularly bad with the Gloriosas. I think they're just waiting for us to attack. And then this is where it gets really anticlimactic, where, guys, they just decide to quit. Because right here, we're going to start swinging 7s all day. All day we're swinging 7s here, guys. And they actually just quit out. 7s is the way to go in this situation. Notice they don't even have any white snakes in hand. And their life, guys, not a single draw 2 effect from their life. They have 2 white snakes, which the white snakes trigger can do like a top 5 set. You can set the top 5 cards of your deck to the top or bottom of your deck. And we're just going to swing 7s all the way across the board here. I do think they gave up way too prematurely, because what they could have done is like in this situation, for the first 7k attack, they could just do a Snake Dance to pull back a Gloriosa. For the next 7k, they could use a Gum Gum Giant Gavel to trash the Gloriosa and get out of that one, and just shrink their hand size down to where they can start drawing cards with the Love Love Mellow. But hear me out. They gave up. I did at least want to show you guys how quickly the deck can flood the board. These are all 5k or better bodies, right? So this one, it's at least a decent showing of how quickly we can flood the board, even though it's not the quickest. It's not as fast as like Red Chopper, right? Anything running the animal chopper stuff. Okay, now we got one more game. This one actually was a game, right? This is a game against Blurple Crocodile. Guys, we got a game versus Blurple Croc here. I'm going to say this right now, guys, after my testing with it, and we'll talk more about this at the end. I absolutely think that the 7 Warlords version is just strictly better. I think it's just strictly better. So they're going to hit a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. That is part of the risk there. Pause. Hang on. So we did play out a character first in that situation so that we could get the extra 2 Dawn. We attacked in. It was a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger trigger, and we lost the character we just developed. But I think that was probably worth it, because that card later on could have wiped out 2 of my bodies. We got a card out of their hand. I think that was fine. Now watch this, guys. I have 3 or less characters on the board. If I play out this Usopp, this will be a 1-cost 5k we're playing out. We'll still have 4 Dawn left for the turn. Watch what happens. Okay, we'll play out the Usopp here. We'll play out the Zoro now, and then we'll tap down their Bon Cray, swinging into it for 2, swinging into their face for 5, and there we go. I'm a big fan of the Zoro, guys. I do think this new Zoro, which I think is from either OP10 or EB02, I can't remember. I think it's pretty solid. Swing five, taxing their hands. Lots of fives here, guys. Play out the Luffy, playing out this this Zoro. And that's a board, guys. That is a board we have here. They're going to play out the Doflamingo. They are going to be able to swing for 7 now with our what do you call it? With the Bon Carré. They're going to swing 7 into 5 again. I think we're actually going to counter out aggressively because I need to try to take them out. Okay, right here, 2 into 1. We'll take it every time. And now we can just swing. Guys, just swing out across the board, sit on the card in the hand, our Slave Arrow, and that's that. Yep, 7s. They use Come My Way. We'll swing in for 8. Blast Breath, your turn. They're down to 3 cards in hand, and we have they have 1 life. We have a full board. Let's see what they choose to do. They red rock our blocker out of the way. That was unfortunate. They'll swing for 7 here. We will take this. We're at no jeopardy of losing this game for the most part, guys. So let's see what happens. They're going to swing in here. We're going to Slave Arrow. We'll just pull back the Zoro, and then we'll 1K counter out just to save our board as much as possible. And now we just kind of have to hope for the best. So let's just do some math here. We have to go all in. We're not surviving next turn with this board, and I'm not going to try to take out a 6K and a 9K body. It's not happening, right? And we don't have enough blockers in this version. So here we go. We have a 5, 5, 6, right? So that's 16,000 power across 3 bodies, and we have 10 Dawn, so 26,000 power, right? So we can swing 8, 9, 10, right? We can swing 8. I think, did I do that right? Hang on. 5, 10, 16, 26. I believe we can swing, wait, 26 divided by 3. Why is the math not mathing? 26 divided by 3 would be 24. Okay, yeah, so it should be 8, 9, 9. It should be 8, 9, 9, I believe. Okay, let's see what happens here. It's our best bet, guys. It is our best bet. Or we could do 2 big attacks to try to get out of it. So we're going to go swing 9. Okay. Swing 9 and swing 8. So instead of 8, 9, 9, we did 9, 9, 8. Okay, sure. Maybe if that was the case, I think we should have actually just gone. No. Okay. If that's the case, if I'm only trying to swing with 2, just do a 5K poke first. It didn't matter. They didn't have any kind of good events in hand, and they didn't draw one. But in this situation, if I'm just going to swing 2 times, then it definitely should have been, instead of 9, 9, it should have been 10, 11, right? But, oh well, we got there. We could have swung 5 first with the Sanji to get a card out of hand. Good game to my opponent. Now, that was it for the games for today. Flooding the board is the name of the game. Speed, all-in speed type deck. That's the whole idea with this leader is, getting Dawn back as active and then getting more stuff off that way. And comboing with these vanilla characters. And I will say this: I think it will be nice if we can get some 2K counters with no base effect. And I've been saying this for a long time, guys. And we are getting. They have shown 5 cost 6Ks and 6 cost 7K characters with no base effect in OP11 that are 2K counters. What I would like to see is the reverse of that, or the inverse of that, where instead of seeing a 4 cost 6K or a 5 cost 6K with the 2K counter vanilla, I would rather see a 4 cost 7K with no counter vanilla. So that way, in a deck like Sanji, we might run a 3 cost, excuse me, we might run a 2 cost 5K with no counter and a 3 cost 6K with no counter, because that would just be insane, right? Then we could actually play both of those out on our second turn. They're just vanillas. They're nothing more than that, but it would give us some major tempo. Did I say that right? A 2 cost 5K and a 3 cost 6K. Yeah, that would just be insane. I would love that for a leader like this. And no one else could really get that kind of value from it unless they print more leaders with this kind of effect. And that would also simultaneously help with a leader like Uda, a promo leader all the way back from, it's promo 11, whatever you want to call that. It's all the way back from block 1, guys. This card, this leader here has activate main once per turn, pay 1. Up to one of your characters with no base effect gains plus 2,000 power during this turn. So yeah, seems good. All right, well that was about it, guys. I have to say this. This version was fine, but I'm not going to talk too much about it. I think it was still very good, but we're going to go back to the other deck because I think it has more potential, and that's what I think what we need to focus in on and really hone in on is the one with the 7 Warlords. This one right here is, I think it was the better one because it had 3 ways to flood the board very early on. It was running 4 Mihawks, it was running 4 Usopps, and it was running 4 Jinbeis. I think those 12 cards are going to help us cheat stuff out the most efficiently. Like, remember, guys, so okay, Mihawk does have to cheat out a slash character, but we have some pretty decent slash characters we can cheat out with it, right? It's a cost 4 or less slash character, so that's Edward Weevil, right? That is this Edward. It's both Edward Weevils. That sounds weird to say. And then it's also this Mihawk, right? So we have the Mihawk, the Edward Weevil, and the other Edward Weevil. Now, another card we might want to consider, I had not considered until just now, is the new Vivi, Nefeltari Vivi, the 3-cost from EB02. This is a 3-cost 2K, 2,000 power, 1K counter character. That part's not really great, but we can bounce it with cards like Jozu. The main thing about this card is it can draw you 2 cards if you have a multicolored leader and 5 or less cards in hand. So that will help us refill our hand after aggressively countering out to save our characters on the board. I think this deck is not great or anything. Tell me what you guys think about it. If you have any cool ideas to make it a little bit better, to take it to the next level. It is Straw Hat Crew leader type, so we don't really have any special cards just yet. I'll have to take a look at what's coming out in OP 11 for Straw Hat Crew, because they are getting a new card, that new Luffy. But I don't know if that will really help what we're doing in this deck, but maybe it will. Maybe because early on we're trying to flood the board so aggressively with this stuff, maybe we end up dropping these two Doflamingos, and maybe even like a single Jozu, or 2 Jozus even, and play 4 of that new 8-cost Luffy. Sorry, I don't have the picture yet for it, guys. I'll type in Luffy. Yeah, it's not in the sim yet, but hear me out. I think it's a card meant for this. It's the new secret rare. I believe it's like an 8-cost 8K with Rush, or an 8-cost 9K with Rush. And when attacking, you can bounce back a 4 or less to the owner's hand. It's something along those lines. I think that's what it is. It's an 8-cost 8K with Rush, and you bounce back a 4 or less to the owner's hand, and then that's when you give the character plus 1,000, something like that. I apologize, guys. I don't have it with me, but maybe that will be a good addition to the deck. It will allow us to bounce back cards like Margaret to get further value with those later, or bounce back the Jinbeis or the Sengokus. And then if we do choose to go up the Nefeltari Vivis, this card right here, like maybe we go up to 4 of these and move cards around however we need to. Maybe we don't need all these Usops. Maybe we just run like, well, it is a 2K counter, which is the crazy part. I don't know. Maybe at that point, maybe we drop the Crocodiles because we have so many Usops, and we go up 4 of the, or we have so many Usops. Guys, we have so many 2K counters is what I was trying to say. We have 4 Mihawk, 4 Usopp, 4 and 8 Mihawks, and 4 Usopps. There's so many repeat character names in here, it gets confusing. But hopefully that made sense, guys. All right, I'm done yapping. Tell me what y'all thought about this in the comment section below. Hey, guys, this leader was a lot of fun. This leader was so much fun to play. It does have its struggles. It is struggling a little bit. The effect is not incredible past turn 2, right? I would say like turn 1, 2, and 3, this leader can really have some incredible, you know, sequencing where you can cheat the board, cheat out cards on the board and like really flood. But hey, you know, it's still a very fun leader to run. Try out this package, guys. Tell me what y'all think about it. Let me tell you right now, I don't think this card is meant for the list. I was just running it as like 5-cost blocker that can restand in a turn, just in case I had no other better play. But guys, everything in the deck is smaller than this card except Jozu. How will I not ever have a better play? So this card can go for sure. That's 2 free spots in the deck, and those 4 Crocodiles can go. That's 6 spots in the deck, because we have way too, like I said, guys, I did not realize this was a 2K counter when I first started messing with it. So how crazy is that? You know, we can't do that. We can't be running 16 2K counters. I mean, I guess we can. We can if they're good enough, right? But you guys get my point. All right, have fun with it, guys. Tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. Very fun leader. I wish there was more support for the leader. I do think the new OP11 vanilla 2K counters will help it out if we can get any decent types with it. It might just help, period. Maybe it'll just be the help it needs. Who knows? But other than that, guys, yeah, that's where I'm at with this leader. I think the 7 Warlords package is the best for it, but it's not saying much. We were able to beat a purple Luffy with this. We were able to beat a Smoker with it, but that's not to say my opponents were the best in the world. Not to say they're bad either, but you guys know how that goes. It's just random sim games. They might have been trying something out. They might have got a bad pull. Maybe we got a perfect pull. You guys know how it goes. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Let me get the outro page up here. Guys, big shout out to everybody who supports the channel. Guys, whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, if you're supporting me through Patreon, PayPal, donations, getting the playmat, becoming a YouTube member, hopping on the Discord, I appreciate all that, guys. Using my affiliate link, whatever you're doing to help me out, whatever you're doing to support me, I really, really appreciate it. Speaking of YouTube members, guys, we will be streaming tonight. It is a Wednesday at the time you're recording this, right? Let me check my calendar down here. Yes, it is a Wednesday. We stream on the YouTube channel here on YouTube. We stream Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. Be sure to stop by, hang out with us, have a good time. We have a lot of fun. Okay. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to put those in the comment section below or hop over and talk to us on the Discord. And yeah, till next time, guys, peace.